Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Eagle Talks Football, and we're back again with another video. This is the first time we've gone live after the North London Derby on the Sunday, and now we've gotten some updates on some injury news, some team news, and just overall news around contract situations and who potentially might be starting versus Atalanta in the Champions League. First game away in the Champions League, also a trip down to Italy. Not too shabby if you don't ask me. But before we go any further, I got Gunnar Souls in the building. We're going to get this show started, but do me a favor, please do hit that like button. Please do hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel massively. We are on the road to 30K subscribers. We are so close, just touching distance. And I need you guys to do me another favor. Let's get this video past at least 200 likes. 200 likes is the aim. So make sure you guys hit that like button if you're watching this or you're watching this on the playback. But Gunnar Souls, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I mean, good. The Champions League today was a bit boring, but we'll get into everything, obviously, in terms of the matches that have happened. But yeah, we've got a lot of news to cover, I guess. But overall, yeah, can't complain.
Bro, I've been sick since Monday, so I haven't been able to take it in as well as I really wanted to. But yeah, this season I'm not as invested in watching other teams play as much as I was in the past couple of years. Like when Arsenal weren't in it, I was watching every single other team's games. I was watching like Goal Center where they show you all the games. But today, Celtic scored 5 goals. I haven't seen a single goal. You know what I mean? It's like I would keep track of all the games and the goals that are going in while the game's going on. But now it's just like I just watch one game and just sit back.
Yeah, like even today, like when I was watching the City game, it was just more passively watching it whilst I was doing things. But yeah, I get what you mean. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just exhaustion or burnout, but yeah, I've
Maybe
not
since
watched.
Arsenal are in it, we were saving our energy.
Yeah, probably.
But if I was to do a quick recap, bro, Liverpool coming back versus AC Milan, we're gonna destroy AC Milan if they're that bad at set pieces.
Potentially, I mean, they didn't look good.
AC Milan, if we were to face AC Milan, we would beat them so bad with the lack of set piece defending that they have. I thought Tottenham were bad. Those guys conceded 2 goals from set pieces. Then what else
Yeah,
was
two
there?
easy ones as well. They were very weak. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool needed to make a statement after the Nottingham Forest loss, so I think they bounced back quite well.
I thought Gravenberch was amazing, bro. That guy, he's most improved player of the season so far. Then you got Real Madrid. Yo, the cojones on Endrick for Real Madrid. You got Vinny on one side, you got Mbappe on the other side. You could easily make a pass to either. Instead, he decides to take the shot from like 45 yards out. Mental.
Well, what's FB talking about, saying Inter don't play like Arsenal? I guess we'll get into that in later, but
We'll talk
I'm just
about
curious.
Inter and everything in a second. But
But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, Endrick, fair play to him. I mean, it's the only goal I've seen. Like you said, I don't know what it is. I think there's too much football on. Like, because you had the League Cup on as well, where obviously United were playing. You've got the Champions League on at the same time, and it's just, I feel like there's too many games to actually invest into something. And even to watch highlights, you're like, I just can't be arsed. I've not got time.
yeah,
So
Man United won 7-0. Like, what the hell?
yeah, I've
I was
seen Rashford's goal, and that's it. Like, the only thing I've seen was the first goal, and the rest of it, I don't even know what they were. But so I think there's just too many games, too many goals. I mean, the big talking point as well for a lot of people is the Gyokeres, and how he started the season. People talking about, just pay his release clause and get him in. So
Oh my God, Viktor Gyokeres, bro. Viktor Gyokeres, the way that he is performing right now. Do you know how many goals he has for club and country right now? He has 8 goals, 1 assist in the league. He scored a goal in the Champions League in his first game in the Champions League. They've already played a cup competition where he got 2 assists. And if I'm not mistaken, for Sweden, he has 3 goals and 1 assist already. Bro, the guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So that's 4 goal contributions for his country already. And that's what? 10, 12. He has 12 goal contributions already for his nation. So overall, he has 16 goal contributions already in the season. We're in September.
yeah, no, he looks insane. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched a lot of him, so I'm not going to make a complete judgment call on. But when you do watch him and you see the kinds of goals he's scoring, it's exactly what we need, even if it is like an option B or a plan B or someone to play alongside Kai or like whatever the case may be. There's so many purposes that we can bring him in for. I do think someone like him would make a perfect signing for us. I know from a club perspective, Benjamin Sesko seems to be the favourite to sign, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think either one of them would be absolutely amazing to sign, even like I said, to come off the bench or to play certain games or certain scenarios. So we just gotta wait and see. But he looks phenomenal so far.
Nah, yeah, Viktor Gyokeres is doing something else right now. He's on a crazy roll. We already spoke about Manchester United. Yeah, you know who we didn't speak about? Bayern Munich, bro. These guys just love embarrassing people. 9-2 versus Dynamo Zagreb. 9-2. Like, in what world do you get a brace in your Champions League debut, but then your teammate gets the match ball because he got four? Like, that is crazy. Imagine getting your Champions League debut. You're Michael Elise. You scored 2 goals for your new club in the Champions League, and you don't get the match ball because one of your teammates scored 4. It's crazy.
I mean, look, he's had a good start at Bayern Munich as well. I think on the weekend he got a goal or maybe 2 goals. So I mean, he's starting life as he left Crystal Palace. I mean, the only concerns with Elise were always those little injuries that kind of kept him out of the team. But you know what? Fair play to them. I mean, 9-2, regardless of the opponent, I can sit here and say it's Dynamo Zagreb. Like, well, what did you expect? But fair play, 9-2. They need to have a big season because of what happened last season with Bayer Leverkusen, not only just winning the league, but winning it undefeated. You know, when Bayern Munich have been so dominant in that league. So they need to bounce back. They need to make a statement. And so far, you know, Kompany's gone in there, especially with the reputation that Kompany went with the way that he relegated Burnley, the way that he was playing. A lot of people were criticizing his management. He's gone in there and he's made a big impact straight away. So, you know what, credit to firstly Vincent Kompany because he has turned it around for his own career.
Let me get on this Vincent Kompany guy for a second. First of all, the people who said this job was too big for him, I was sold from when I seen him dig into those Burnley players. No, the Atlanta players. When I seen the video of him get onto the Atlanta players, the criticism of Vincent Kompany, people criticize Arteta similarly. Also, when are people going to realize we're in a new generation of managers, and Vincent Kompany is part of that fold? Bayern Munich taking a risk on him. They made the right decision, and Vincent Kompany is doing well for Bayern so far. Overall, I think he might go on to win the league. I don't know if he's gonna win the Champions League. The issue they have over there in Bayern is they get into these situations where they batter teams and they don't end up facing tough enough opposition to get them ready for the Champions League. This year now, because they're going to be facing more of the big boys in the Champions League, they might be more prepared than usual. And of course, they're top of the league in their league. I seen the quote. Did you see the inspirational quote of Vincent Kompany? What he said?
No idea.
Okay, so Vincent Kompany was asked, "What do you think about the criticism?" And what he said, I thought this was inspirational. I want to share it with everybody right now. Vincent Kompany on getting the job, and if it was too big for him, he said, "I was born in Brussels. My dad was a refugee from Congo. What were the chances for me being in the Premier League? Playing in the Premier League, winning something as a player, playing for the national team? The odds were 0.000 something. Now I'm a coach. Do I stop believing in yourself? What can you achieve because of others say, what other people say? The mentality is to keep going and end up, if you fail, you fail. If you succeed, you succeed. But you can always become better. Online, you can always find something, so you don't take it personal." And I thought this was inspirational for a lot of people. There's always going to be people criticizing you. There's always going to be people questioning you. It's on yourself to become a better person and continue to strive for greatness. Like this guy's already come from a situation where it was difficult for him to even become a top player, let alone become the player that he became. And now that he's a manager, he's just facing the same adversity and he's already used to it. So this job is not too big for him. He's ready to take the challenge. And in his first couple of games in the Champions League and in the league, he's showing that he's well equipped to be that guy. And I just thought, even though we're an Arsenal channel, I just thought it was a good shout out to the Bayern Munich manager and Vincent Kompany, man. He's a real one.
Yeah, it's just going to be nice when we take him down when we come across Bayern Munich. But other than that, yeah, good luck to him.
There you go. Let's get into some of these comments that we see in the comment section. Big up. Inter did not play like Arsenal. Why are you lying? No, we're just talking about their defending against Erling Haaland, how they held Man City. We don't necessarily have to compare the two teams exactly, but Souls, you had something to say on this?
I mean, we could get into it later. You want to do the comments, and then we can come back to this and talk about it
Yeah.
properly.
Gunnar Souls said on Twitter, Arsenal set up like Inter. Oh, okay. You did say
No,
that.
you said that. You know, he was talking because I asked what he was talking about, and he said you said that on Twitter.
Okay. And then would you say, Ega, I can't lie, City were poor. I feel like we turn up and we at bare minimum we're not losing. Yeah, I do think we're gonna keep a clean sheet. Yeah, if we can put in a similar defensive performance as we did last year. Managing Burnley isn't hard than managing Burnley is probably harder than managing Bayern. Owing to the players you get work with and the money. You know what? Do you think it's harder to manage a relegation team than it is to manage a top European team?
Definitely, I mean, because look at the talent pool that you get when you're in a relegation team. It's a lot. It's definitely a challenge in itself. I mean, when you go into Bayern Munich, I think it's the expectations that can take you over more than what you get given. You do get given the tools to do your job, and somewhere like a Bayern Munich, when you look at the squad that they've got, the investment that they made in the summer, it for me, I'd agree with the comment to some degree, where Burnley is a lot harder to manage and actually make a success than a Bayern Munich. Where I can agree though, like where I can say actually it's more difficult to manage a top team is somewhere like when Arteta took over Arsenal or Unai Emery coming to Arsenal, the Man United job right now because it's quite toxic. Whereas at Bayern Munich, yes, it's toxic because of the way they lost the league, the way they won it the previous season. But generally speaking, they are quite optimistic and they do have a massive, massive pull, you know, to get players in, to get the resources, the amount of money that they're able to spend. So I do agree, but I think there's flip sides to both. Managing a bigger club, like for example, coming into Bayern Munich or Juventus or a Barcelona, Real Madrid, etc., and the list goes on, you're expected to win. You can't do anything less than winning, and sometimes even winning the league isn't enough. So there's swings and roundabouts to this.
Okay, so let's get straight into the Arsenal updates. When is the we're gonna do that right now, but before we go any further, we just need to do the Arsenal injury update. So we got an update on Martin Odegaard's injury, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we got an update on Martin Odegaard's injury, and we also got an update on some other injuries. So we're gonna do that right now. Arsenal injury update, and let me just find it for you guys and show you guys what the injury news is. So first things first, Mikel Arteta has spoken, and Mikel Arteta is kind of funny. Yeah, he tries to make light of the situation by choosing specific words to make the blow sound a little bit worse than it is. But he did go and say we will lose Martin Odegaard for a while. He doesn't specifically get into the timeline, but we do get more information from other people afterwards. He said that a scan has shown some danger, especially on one of the ligaments in his ankles. And they also say that Calafiori and Saka are fine and available. So before we talk about Martin Odegaard, let's just continue to look. So Ricardo Calafiori and Saka are are fully available for Arsenal ahead of the game against Atalanta. I think this is a game where Calafiori gets his Arsenal debut, and I would start him at left back, in my opinion. But going back into Martin Odegaard's injury, Mikel Arteta saying on the time scale of Martin Odegaard's injury, hopefully not months. We will see. There was more information that came in though. We had some well-known ITKs come in and say that Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard is expected to be out for minimum 2 months. This is a big blow. 2 months, Martin Odegaard potentially being out for 2 months, meaning he would come back when? November?
Around November, yeah.
Okay, so if in that case, that would mean he would miss the Atlanta game, the Man City game, the Bolton game, the Leicester game, the PSG game, the Southampton game, the Bournemouth game, the Shakhtar Donetsk game, the Liverpool game, and he'll be back for Newcastle. Hopefully, he targets to return before the 27th, which is the Liverpool game, the 27th of October. But that is a lot of games that he could potentially be missing due to injury. Also, there was some more information. Let's see if there's anything else. 1 second. Yeah, so Odegaard will be out until November. More on Calafiori. And then, yeah, Team News Ticks also said, looks like November return for Martin Odegaard. So, yeah, Souls, talk to me about Martin Odegaard's injury. What are we going to do, mate?
I mean, look, it looks doomy and gloomy because of how long it looks like it's going to be happening for. I mean, obviously, the sales of Fabio Vieira and ESR don't help the situation either for a lot of fans. But I've been saying, and I'll keep saying, I think it's time for Ethan to be properly introduced into the team and take over for Martin Odegaard. I think tomorrow, the game against Atalanta is the perfect, exhibition for him to actually come in and prove his worth, because there's going to be no bigger opportunity than to say, do you know what? Go to the gaffer, go to McCall and say, look, the captain's out for two months. You wanted me to be the understudy. I'm ready to start and I'm ready to play. Even if you look at his cameo against Spurs, coming in, granted it was only 10 minutes, but there were positive signs. He wanted to take players on. He wanted to make a positive impact. And I think he's ready, man. I think he's got the mentality of a player who wants to thrive and who wants to. And of course, look, I'm not going to sit here and downplay that, missing Martin Odegaard isn't like a big blow for the team, because there are going to be moments in games where his pass unlocks everything and makes everything tick. And, there isn't really another Martin Odegaard, firstly, on the market, or like a player that we can have bought in, other than like a KDB, maybe a Foden or someone of that ilk, which we know is really difficult to bring in. So Ethan needs to step up and actually prove his worth. He's going to have no bigger opportunity, and that's my solution to the problem. We can obviously go for the alternative, which is what we did against Spurs, where we set up in like a 4-4-2 with two strikers and just two banks of fours. But I think against some of the teams that we're going to be playing, we need a natural 10. We need someone who's got the ability to create, and we can't rely on the 4-4-2 defensive blocks against an Atalanta. But against like a Man City, that might work. But yeah, I think McCall needs to find a solution, because for 2 months you can't go without playing Ethan at all. And I feel like tomorrow's perfect with the results that have come out, with Man City dropping points. Just take a risk. Let's do it.
I'm just gonna say this: Martin Odegaard missing. We're going to struggle more, I think, against the smaller teams to break low blocks than we would be against the top teams. I think Martin Odegaard's a great player, but against a Man City, against Tottenham, we could definitely use Martin Odegaard and he can massively help us. But he's not going to be as big as a miss as the teams that play defensive football against us for 90 minutes. Is that a wild statement to say? I think the game against City, we could find another way. We're going to play defensive regardless. So yes, Martin Odegaard would help us with that final ball or that creativity up the pitch, but defensively we will still be solid. Where against teams where we have to attack, where it's on us to score the goal, it's on us to break the deadlock, that's where I feel like we're going to miss Martin Odegaard more. Call me crazy. I don't think we're going to miss Martin Odegaard as much in the City game as we will in the games where we're traveling away to Newcastle in November. Is that ridiculous? Because I think Newcastle will play a lot more defensive football, and we're expected to win that game. Where the City game, we're not necessarily favorites, and the way that we're going to be playing, we're probably more suited to it to play that way without Martin Odegaard without Martin Odegaard, but without Martin Odegaard, we're more able to play that way. Where against Newcastle, without Martin Odegaard, we're going to have to rely more on Ethan and less on Jorginho and Partey.
No, I disagree. I think Martin Odegaard, in terms of massive games or even the smaller games, the attacking games, on the transition, he would have massively helped. Spurs, don't forget, look, we scored from a set piece. Let's not
But you're saying I'm hoping.
Yes, because the reason is, look, against Spurs, as much as, yes, the performance I'm happy with, we got the job done, it was a set piece. Other than that, I don't think we could, yes, maybe the stats say we created this many big chances. The Martinelli opportunity, for example, comes to mind. There was a Saka opportunity Sterling could have shot earlier. But the reality is we didn't cut them open. And this is where Martin Odegaard, even on a transitional basis, would have actually helped us massively to create an armful more of opportunities. The volume of opportunities would have increased, and especially in a game that open. So I do think we're coping a little bit and actually discrediting Odegaard quite massively, because defensively, number one, he's one of our best pressers. So we could have won the ball a lot higher up and transitioned them better. So no, I think he's a massive miss regardless. I think whether you're talking big games or small, but we need the reality is we need to find a solution that doesn't involve him, and that's the only way we're going to evolve as a team and actually become a better team for it.
Bro, don't get me wrong. Martin Odegaard is still one of our best players and massive piece to this puzzle. He's our captain. We're gonna miss him regardless. But I'm just saying, like, if there's a game where you feel like you can maybe get away with it. I'm not saying it's the City game necessarily, but would you rather have him available for the game versus Inter away if he's fit and available?
No, I'd rather him available for the City game.
All right. Fair enough. I think we're going to struggle to break down teams sometimes without Martin Odegaard, and that's where we're going to miss him. Overall, defensively, we're still going to be solid. We're still going to be able to press from the back. We're still going to be able to do a lot of things, and that's down to not only how good our team is, but how Mikel Arteta will plan for it. This is not me short selling Martin Odegaard. This is me trusting in Mikel Arteta. He will find a solution for us, ladies and gentlemen. And we should not lose faith in the manager or the team, because even though we do have injuries, we still have this man in charge that can that can weather us through the storm. And I do believe we'll find ways to weather ourselves through the storm and to continue to push on as a squad. Now, quickly, I was going to talk about something else that I've seen all over socials. I've seen some stuff all over socials about Gabriel Magalhães. Did you see this? Arsenal
No,
have started the process of extending Gabriel Magalhães' contract. However, discussions are at an early stage. I've also seen stuff speaking about Arsenal want to make sure they tie down all their current players and are in no rush to look to sell players. So this is positive news, ladies and gentlemen. Now we already know Arsenal are serious about keeping their best players, but to hear it to formally hear it and to hear that Arsenal are not looking to sell any players, and of course we want to keep our players tied down as long as possible, is the kind of news that you want to hear, especially after the performance he had in the North London derby. You don't want people trying to sniff around and trying to come grab Gabriel Magalhães. So I'm happy that Arsenal are serious about giving him a new deal. He did get a new deal. What was it? 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago.
So yeah, he's in line for a new deal. I think he's running down. He's running it close to 2 years until this deal is down. But hey, overall, you got to be happy with Gabriel Magalhães being one of the main men in the defense, and he's probably part of one of the best centre back partnerships in Europe.
No, 100%. And I mean, this is the promise that, KSC made during the pandemic as well, promising us that, contracts won't be run down, they won't come to the final years, especially for the bigger players, and we won't be selling them, unless absolutely necessary. And this kind of debunks the whole idea that, players are going to leave if we don't start winning soon. Don't get it twisted, we need to win soon. I'm not sitting here and deflecting away from the idea that we need to win. But it goes to show that there is a belief, that there is, an element of there's a direction at this football club that they believe in, and they actually see success in this football club, in the manager, in the board, and in what's going on. Because why would they sign a contract if they didn't believe that the summer was good enough, or if they didn't believe Mikel was good enough, or if they didn't believe Eddie was good enough? So they are signing these contracts, including William Saliba, who signed last season, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, etc. They've all signed new big-term contracts, because they believe in what Arsenal are doing and the direction and the ambition that they're showing. Because these guys are coming to the peak and the pumps of their powers. And a lot of clubs, such as Real Madrid, the Barcelonas, the Bayern Munich, Man Cities, are looking at these players to come in for them. So why would they sign for Arsenal if there was no direction, no ambition? And this is why I keep saying to people that if these players are signing, they're the ones at the club, they're the ones there daily. We're fans. We're not privy to all.
And let's not act like these guys don't have big clubs trying to come after them.
Yeah. So
you got
that's
PSG.
why I
PSG think that PSG are deluded enough to think they could try to attract both of our guys away from us. And then you also have Real Madrid thinking they can raid the whole Premier League. If you haven't seen what Real Madrid came out with, they came out with a quote where they said they're going to try to raid the whole Premier League and get Trent, Romero, Saliba, and Rodri. Like there's some ambitious potential signings for Real Madrid there, but I don't think that's possible. But hey,
it's Real Madrid. They can definitely, they're more than capable of doing that. But the
no
reality
way is all four of these guys. Like,
they'll try to. Whether they do, it's a completely.
They could get these two, but the likelihood of getting Rodri or Saliba right now, very low.
I mean, Rodri might, because he's Spanish and, it's Real Madrid. So there can be a potential that it's his dream to go back there as well. So, But when it comes to the players,
He played for Atletico though. Why would his dream be to play for Real Madrid when he was Atletico
I mean,
player?
look, Sol Campbell played for us when he played for Spurs. People do it. It happens. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this love for football clubs isn't really a reality for players anymore. And a lot of players will snake a club to go to another one if it's ambitious enough. We've seen it plenty of times happen to us. We've seen United players go to City. We've seen City players go to United. So it's not this sort of love affair that we make it out to be.
Sorry to cut you off, but let's try to see how many games Odegaard could potentially miss. So you got the Atlanta game, the Man City game, Bolton 100%, Leicester 100%, PSG 100%, Southampton. You got Buddy here saying he thinks he might be back for the Southampton game. I doubt it. If we're gonna bring him back before the Liverpool game, don't you want to ease him in one of these two games?
I mean, either three are the same thing.
But if he doesn't come back before November, we got a tough time in end of October. Hopefully we can get him back before this time here. But overall, I'm expecting him to miss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 games most likely. Hopefully he can be back by the 22nd of October, and then the what do you call it? The 27th of October, he's ready to play. If he's not back until November, then he's gonna miss a total of, what is that? 9 games?
Yeah.
9 games plus what he already missed in the North London Derby, so 10 games. That's a big miss. It's a big miss. But we need him back before this fixture list right here. This is a tough fixture list. You don't got nothing to say on this one?
I mean, we can still cope. I'm not like, look, when he's ready, he's ready. I trust the squad to get the job done. He's a massive miss, don't get it twisted. Of course, I'll have more confidence if Odegaard's in the team, but if he isn't, he isn't. You know, we need to get to that point where we're not dwelling over the players we're missing and we believe in the players who are coming in.
Okay, so next we got to talk about Ethan. We got to talk about Ethan, and the reason why we got to talk about Ethan is because I think his Champions League debut is pending. His Champions League debut is pending. He had a good showing in the North London Derby. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Arteta is going to start Ethan in this game? Because I think he should. I think this is the game where Ethan should start. I did say the North London Derby was too soon, but I'm ready for him to start in this game. And the reason being, he's going to have 2 steady Eddies next to him. He's going to have Declan Rice and Partey in the team with him. I think it's going to be a midfield of Ethan, Declan Rice, and Partey. What do you think the midfield's going to be?
I hope it is. I mean, I wanted him to play the North London Derby because I genuinely believe the guy's ready to play. You can see in his mentality, his attitude, his body language, even when he's on the bench, he's raring to come on. So I think this is the perfect time. You've got Declan Rice, who needs to play because he missed the last game, obviously, due to suspension.
What's the midfield 3, by the way?
It's going to be what I would do is Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Ethan.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Disagreeing with me for a second.
No. I'm just saying, like, you know, with Declan Rice obviously coming off, because if Declan Rice wasn't suspended and he played the North London Derby, I would have disagreed because I would have said just rest him for the City game. But because he hasn't played, I think this would be nice just to get minutes back in his legs. I know it's only 1 game, but it's always good to just get a bit of, you know, match fitness, especially when you missed a game. Obviously, Thomas Partey is probably where I may disagree. I'm a bit 50-50 whether we should just put Jorginho in just to ease like Thomas Partey.
Jorginho was in an incubator, bro. He's gonna need some time to get back to normal.
Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, I'm assuming he's fit. Because with Thomas Partey playing this many minutes, I'm a bit worried that he might.
Yeah, be tactical. You need Jorginho versus. You don't need Jorginho as much versus Man City. Partey will start versus Man City. Start Jorginho in this game and play Ethan. And
it's an Italian side. He's got experience against the Italian team, so that's the only reason I'm saying it. Like, I think Jorginho coming in might be more beneficial because
he'll help because we have the pace. We'll have the pace of Sterling in the team also, so he can play the ball.
It depends on how you want to build the rest of the team out. But in terms of the 3, that's where I'll disagree a little bit. I'm a bit 50-50. Like, I'd rather Thomas Partey be available for City than potentially injured in this game because it is a quick turnaround. It's Thursday to Sunday, and he's played the North London Derby. I think he's played 90 minutes in every other game as well. I can't remember a time he's come off. Then against Ghana, not against Ghana, sorry, for Ghana in the international break, he also played pretty much all 90 minutes as well.
You know what? I've been too harsh on Partey in the past. He's been good. Like I can't be criticizing him too much right now. He's been doing good. He's been reliable, and injuries wise, luckily so far he hasn't gotten injured yet. So I'm very happy with Thomas Partey at this moment in time. But let's just build out our starting 11 quickly as what we're gonna predict for the 11 against Atlanta. So Souls. So we're obviously going to go with goalkeeper. Are you going to play Calafiori? Because that's who I'm putting in first.
Oh, I thought you said in goal. I was like, no, I'm not playing him there. Yeah, I think so. I think Yuri Timbers can do with the rest, similar to Partey. Just rest him, just get him ready for the Northern derby. I think get Calafiori because he needs minutes as well. So yeah, I agree.
Okay. Are you changing the centre back pairing?
I want to, but I don't think they will. So I think it will be Gabriel and Saliba. It doesn't look like they need a rest. I don't know.
Saliba always looks like he's still ready to go and play another 20 minutes. Where you could make a change is right back, maybe.
What are our options? Because Tomiyasu's out.
No, I'm saying Timber.
No, but I want Timber rested.
Okay, so then you play Ben White.
My logic is he's come back from
an Ben White then. You play Ben White.
Yeah, because he's come back from a ACL injury. I'd rather give Timbers a break in this game.
Okay. So we're gonna put Rice in 100%.
Yeah, he's been suspended.
We're gonna put Ethan. Yeah. We're gonna put Ethan in 100%.
Yes.
The question down is Jorginho, and I think that makes sense. Jorginho, it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. Even though, yes, Thomas Partey has been reliable, I'd rather rest him where we can. And I think a game like this suits a Jorginho. It's going to be a little bit slower. I've not watched Atalanta properly, so I don't know if they've quicken up their paces or not. But I think that should be good enough for the midfield.
I'm resting Saka.
Agreed.
And I'm putting Sterling on the thing. I am going to rest Havertz also.
Yeah,
Champions League Jesus is a thing. And then on the left, I don't want Sterling, Jesus, and Trossard. I want Martinelli to get a little bit more form, so I'm going to start Martinelli. What do you think?
You know what? That's the 11 I had in mind when trying to build it out. I think Martinelli suits a team like this. I think he needs a few minutes just to try and get his confidence back.
Let me know, people in the chat, if you disagree. Sorry, Souls. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Gabriel, Jesus, and Sterling need the minutes. They haven't played much, or they've not featured enough. Obviously, Jesus coming back from an injury as well. I think these are the perfect times, especially for the Man City game coming. Bukayo Saka coming off with a precaution, it looked like now. I'd rather just not risk it. I mean, we don't need to play him in a game like this. Even if we can get a draw or it's not going to be that much impactful because of the 8 games rather than the 6 that we normally play.
Yeah.
So
what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes. Some people would say 5 changes in the Champions League is disrespecting the competition.
Okay, but let's look at the changes. Gabriel Jesus is arguably a borderline starter for us. Sterling, okay, maybe he is a bench option, but looking at Gabriel Martinelli's form, maybe Sterling becomes a starter. So a lot of the changes that we've made are basically starters. They're not really, because you have 11 players, which I understand. Obviously, Timbers, Calafiori, it's cutting butter really.
What's the chances Saka doesn't start?
Very slim, in my opinion. I think he does play. I think Arteta's got this affiliation that he needs to play him. Okay. But no, let's not do it. Let's not do that though.
If we were to predict Arteta's actual 11,
I think he rests him.
Do you? Honestly.
No, but I do think you will. I wouldn't bet my house on it kind of situation, but there's a chance he does.
I think there's a higher chance of Ethan starting than there is Saka being benched. Havertz.
I guess it depends on how.
Would Havertz get rested?
Yeah, because Jesus is fine. Trossard could even play up top. I think there's more options.
You think Sterling starts over Trossard and Martinelli?
I want him to. I think it's time to give him an opportunity.
Bro,
Because if we're being honest,
I'm
like
looking at it right
Trossard off the
now.
bench.
I think everything below the midfield picks itself. The midfield, the defense picks itself. I think this right here is the biggest conundrum. Do you go with Martinelli, Jesus? Do you still play Havertz? Because Havertz obviously wants to play every game also. But you know the importance since you need him in the next game also. Do you start
But
making
the thing
rotations?
with Havertz is he's never really had a problem with fitness. So I don't know. I don't know if you rest Havertz. I think with Saka, I can see it happening, but I
Yeah.
do think also he might be thinking that actually Jesus. But then he'll put them off the bench. Actually, I think the attack's probably the hardest one because you can't make any logical sense with it. Because if anything, you'll bring Jesus off the bench for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, if anything. But
I think Jesus plays well in the Champions League, and you have to start. You need to start playing him more.
but it's not that you have to. It's about
Okay,
the
I
team.
think if there's two people who should start this game, Jesus and Sterling. Now, who plays with them? I don't know. Could there even be a situation where Jesus plays on the left and you still have Havertz play another game?
I think that's more likely than anything. Or Jesus plays on the wingers can swap, whatever. Sterling on the left and Jesus on the right, but that's what it
I
is.
just
What
think
it
it's
is.
unlikely to see Havertz in the midfield this game.
I don't think he will. I think he will keep him up top because don't forget, like even in this situation, he played two up top instead.
Imagine he goes all attacking and he plays Saka, Sterling, Jesus, Havertz in the 10, and what do you call it? Rice and Jorginho behind.
It's very possible. I mean, in that case, he'll be doing something similar to the Spurs game, but I don't think Atalanta's the game to do it in. I think in this sort of game, yeah, you play your strikers, you play your creative 10, and then you have your wingers as they are, like a very good transitional team. But I mean, look, I don't know. The attack is bewildering, but it's going to give us a lot of insight into what Arteta's thinking because we should see a different lineup to what we've seen against Spurs for sure.
This is what they have predicted for the lineups for the two teams on FootMob. They're basically saying that it's going to be Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, same team in the midfield, just adding Rice,
That's stupid. That midfield's never going to happen.
and then Jesus, Sterling. Now, I don't think this midfield's going to happen. I agree with you. They're going to have one of Jorginho or Partey are going to have to leave, and most likely it's going to be Partey for Ethan. As for the front three, Saka, Jesus, Sterling, I could definitely see that happening. Sterling is due a debut. I think debut for Sterling is going to happen, and Jesus hasn't started in a lot of games, so Jesus starting makes sense also. Now, looking at their team, I don't know enough about their players, but I know Lookman is a danger man, and I know that they're going to do a lot of their attacking, if I'm not mistaken, from this side of the pitch to the left side, right?
If you need a bodyguard, they've got one. So that's always good.
Yeah. Overall, though,
Yeah.
let's look at Atlanta's form recently. Let's see what their form is like, just to see how they've been performing. They lost 4-0 to Inter last week. They beat Fiorentina. They lost to Torino, and they lost to Real Madrid in the Super Cup, and they won their first game in the league 4-0. So kind of up and down start for them overall. But yeah, who's their main goal scorers right now? So obviously
It's going to be
Lookman.
more than likely Lookman. Like Lookman's there, like
Lookman's their
crucial.
danger man. Have we ever played each other before? I don't think we have.
Not in a long time.
No, we've never played each other. But yeah, on the form sheet, we're much better than them in form. Overall, I think this should be a win. Even with slight rotation, I still believe we should win. The only thing that would surprise me is if they catch us on the counter and they beat us like by like a small margin, like 1-0 or 2-0 or something like that. Because I don't see this being a high scoring game. None of those Liverpool results like they had against none of those results like what they had against Liverpool. Somebody here saying Timber starts. Caviar, Saliba, Calafiori. I think that's too many changes. I don't see Gabriel and Saliba getting dropped. Rice, Trossard. No way. No way we're seeing Rice, Trossard, and Ethan. That's just putting too much pressure on Rice. defensively, and then Sterling, Jesus, Saka. I agree with your attack. I disagree with your midfield and defense. But yeah, what else is there? So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the injuries. They have Skamaka missing. That might be a miss, but outside of that, I don't really know too much more. What do you think is gonna happen in this game? Talk to me.
I mean, I've not watched it. I'll be honest, I haven't watched Serie A in, I'd say about last season I didn't watch it much, and the season before I kind of watched it. I don't know enough about Atalanta, but I did watch the final. I watched the Super Cup as well. They're a very compact team from the looks of it, but I mean, Lookman's a danger man. He can, cause us a lot of problems if given an opportunity. But for me, I mean, going to their ground, we have a tendency to drop points or to drop, not great performances when we go away from home. The crowd is definitely going to be up for it. It's going to be hostile for us. So we just got to step up to the occasion. I do think we'll win, but I don't think it's going to be what people think, this like hallmark thrashing that we're going to give them. So,
Well, they have Ben Godfrey from Everton.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So Ben Godfrey's injured.
Yeah.
Skamaka is injured. A couple guys are injured for them. Jesus and Sterling are most likely going to be making debuts. Declan Rice will be returning. We know that. They actually have a predicted draw. They're predicting it's going to be a draw. They're saying that the European champs Atalanta are going to be embarking on their Champions League campaign, heading into the competition in different starts to the Serie A. We've already looked at that. Meanwhile, Arsenal will try to further their Champions League quarterfinal exit last season. And he says that Mikel Arteta's side are currently unbeaten and will try to continue to be unbeaten. So we'll see. But I would definitely hope that we don't concede and we go out there and we try to get a good another clean sheet under our belt for this season. If not, just win. That's all that matters. And we don't want to lose any of these early games in the Champions League, putting up pressure on our team to win the later on in the games. You want to be as high as possible. And away, if we can get a win versus Atlanta, it's a really good start to the Champions League campaign. Even if we get a draw, though, I would be okay with it. It's just I just don't want to lose the first game. So hopefully we can get the win and we can leave. And a loss would be unacceptable at this point. We can't be losing our first game. Even with the rotation, we have a good enough team to beat Atlanta away. I'm not disrespecting Atlanta. I just think we should be able to win with the players we have, though.
No, 100%. I think we need to start off on the right foot, try and qualify as early as we can, because that's crucial as well, to kind of ease the pressure on the later games, allowing us to kind of rotate. And that's why it makes this game kind of difficult, whether those rotations even happen. Like you said, Bukayo Saka, how likely is it that he drops him? It's very unlikely because of how early we are in the season. I mean, if we were basically qualified at this point, then yes, I can see Bukayo Saka getting a rest. I can see the likes of, maybe Timber's being rested as well and the backline changed up, but we need to start from the right foot. We need to try and qualify and take advantage of some of the bigger teams dropping points, like Man City, drawing to Inter Milan is crucial as well, because now we're actually competing against each other. It's not a case of, you're competing in your group, you're actually competing in the league table. So we need to just take advantage, get as many goals as we can. Bayern Munich scoring, 9, obviously, with the differentiator of 7. We need to also get our goal differences up where we can as well. I'm not saying we're going to win 7-0, 8-0, 9-0 or anything like that, but we need to try and start on the positive foot and just keep going from there, really, because our games are only going to get tougher. We've got Sporting to play, we've got AC Milan to play, we've got PSG to play. We need the Atalantas are the easier games. The Shakhtar Donetsk is the easier game. So we need to take full advantage, try and get as many goals as we can.
You know what the league looks like right now?
It looks weird, yeah. But
this is what it looks like right now. You got Real Madrid in 8th because they only won by a 2-goal margin, where Celtic won by a 4-goal margin, and they're in 2nd. Like some.
You're not sharing screen at the minute.
I'm not sharing the screen.
No.
There. So as you can see here, Bayern Munich are way in first as they have a 7-goal margin. Celtic have a 4-goal margin. A bunch of teams have 3-goal margins. And then Liverpool 2, Juventus 2, Real Madrid 2, Sporting 2. All the teams that won basically are in the top 10. And then the way that it works is to qualify to the next round, you have to be in the top 24. And then the bottom teams all just get eliminated. So from 25
Yeah,
to
but then
6.
I think it's the top 16 go automatically through, so they don't need to play a playoff, and then the rest of them have to play
So
off.
how many are playing playoff? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams are playing a playoff.
Yeah, and then the 16 I think go straight through, and then the playoffs happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. So 20 teams advance, and then it goes, and then it dwindles down to 10, and then it dwindles down to what do you call it? Yeah, got it. But we're gonna have to wait and see how it works. We're gonna have to wait and see how it works. This Champions League format is in its first year. A lot of people don't like it. I like it though.
Oh
I think
wait, is that what it is then? Okay, so the top 8 qualify automatically, and the rest have to play off. Because I think the greens next to it indicate that. I might have got it. I might have got my numbers wrong.
Oh wait, so the top 8 qualify, and then the remaining
Automatically.
16 have to
Yes, that's it.
fight it out.
Yeah, the 16. Yeah, sorry, I got it mixed up. So yes,
Yeah,
the
because the
top
numbers
8.
didn't make sense if it was 20 teams.
Yeah. So it's the top 8 automatically qualify, so they don't need to play another round, and then the 16 play each other, and then then the matchups.
You know, some teams are so cheap they would not want to qualify automatically. They would just want to, what do you call it, play the extra games for money.
That's up to you. I mean, we don't need the money. I'd rather us just qualify and have one less game.
Yeah, like say for example, if you're Juventus and you're about to qualify, but one draw will get you to get more money from an extra round, they might do it. Do you think teams would ever do that? Intentionally draw?
100%. But I think it's going to be your Aston Villas, your Celtics, your no disrespect to those teams like your Sporting CPs, Shakhtar Donetsk, because for them that extra money is useful. For us, we don't really care. It's not going to be enough for us to have another game on the fixture list. We'd rather not have the money and play 1 or 2 less games.
Yeah, it's like maybe I'm just thinking like NBA type. Some people tank intentionally for certain things, be it draft picks or be it just a better position in the playoffs.
I can see the lower teams doing it, yes, but I can't see the bigger clubs doing it.
Like a
There's too much
Sparta
pride.
Prague. Like a Sparta Prague. Say if they
Because they need the money. We don't. As an example, we don't need the money. Yeah, it could be nice, but it's not enough to
would
change
Aston Villa do it?
potentially. Because for them, it's an extra game that they probably won't be able to like win or like their next kind of round. But for us, like for example, Real Madrid probably won't do it because who cares?
Saliba is screaming Real. We already spoke about that. Real Madrid can try to come for the players, but he's under contract. Not going nowhere. G-Star, you don't got nothing to worry about at this moment in time. What do you think?
I mean, I know what quote they're talking about. You know, him saying obviously he's become one of the best defenders in world football. Blah, blah, blah. I think Arsenal fans panic too much. We don't. This is why I keep saying, right? Arsenal fans don't believe what they say, because we sit here and say that the project's great and the players are great. You know that they're committed and everything like that. But as soon as some form of like not even adversity, but a quote comes out, look, the player's just rating himself and backing himself. The same way when all this Marseille stuff, like all the interviews that he was doing whilst he was on loan to Marseille, and everyone was panicking, see Arteta, he's ruined Saliba, they loaning him out, and then he comes in and he's happy. Like, just chill out, man. People panic for no reason.
Yeah, you guys need to chill. Okay, so yeah, let's get into predictions, bro. What are we saying? Obviously, we both said we haven't watched enough Atlanta, but we know our team. We know what our team is capable of. I think we go into this game, we try to go away, we try to play defensive football, and we try to smash and grab a win away from home and just walk out of there with a 2-0 victory. What are you saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's a difficult one to predict because Europe is always different, and Atalanta, even though their form isn't great, when you watch them in Europe and watch their Europa League form, when you watch even against them in the Super Cup, for example, they did pick up their performances massively in comparison to their league form. So I don't know how much to ride into it. I know they haven't had the greatest of starts, but saying that as well, we're going to Italy. It's going to be hostile. It's going to be an environment where I can't remember who we played last season, but we went to their stadium and we should have won, but we lost 2-1. So I think we just need to be cautious. We need to keep our wits about us and understand that, look, it's going to be hostile. It's not going to be a friendly stadium to go to. They're going to make it loud. They're going to make it raucous. So we just need to go there and do our jobs. I'm not, at the end of the day, I just want to win. But I also, because of some of the results and some of the teams that we're going to be playing in the Champions League, I would rather. Oh yeah, Lens. Thanks to you, Star, for that one. Yeah, the Lens game, for example, was very hostile and it was very kind of. They were on top of us and the noise and everything. The way that they, had the pre-match, like the tifos and everything that they had going on. I'm not saying Atalanta will go to that extent, but they will make it ruckus. They will make it like flares and really loud and really jeering for us. So yeah, we just got to keep our wits and our composure about ourselves. And with some of the performances that we've seen in the Champions League, I'd like us to win like a 3-4-0, just so that we can give ourselves that goal cushion as well, just to kind of proceed up the table. And yeah, that's my thoughts on it, really. I mean, because the games are only getting harder. Like, we're going to play PSG, for example, where we can't go into that game thinking we're going to win 4-0, 3-0. Shakhtar Donetsk, I think, is our only other game other than this where the goal margins can be higher with our ability to score goals. So I think we need to take advantage of that. And that's not me disrespecting Atalanta. I'm just saying that the weaker of the teams that we have to play other than Shakhtar Donetsk. So that's just my opinion. Try and get a 3-0, try and get a 4-0, get that goal cushion up, and yeah, carry on from there.
We don't need to look forward to the City game yet. We're gonna talk about that more when we get to it. But the Inter games today, City versus Inter, do you think that's kind of like foreshadowing how we're gonna try to approach the game?
I mean, no, because I don't know. I mean, when it comes to the way that we'll play City, I do think there'll be similarities to the way that we want to set up, like being defensively solid. I think the one thing that I want to see is an improvement in our defense. I know we've kept clean sheets and stuff like that, but there have been a few mistakes. Like Ollie Watkins could have scored 2 goals if it wasn't for David Raya pulling off like super saves. There were opportunities where Saliba recovers against Spurs. So there are opportunities where we are making mistakes in the back line, and against someone like Man City, they're going to capitalize on that. Erling Haaland, he gets half a chance, he'll score. So we need to be basically perfect, which we haven't been, but we have gotten lucky to get some of the clean sheets that we've had. So we just need to be perfect. We need to up our game defensively, but also when we get an opportunity, like the Martinelli, for example, Sterling, when he had his opportunity, we need to be taking them because they're not going to come in volumes, especially with Martin Odegaard being absent. So there are going to be similarities, but we just need to be clinical and we need to be defensively perfect.
Arteta out people are saying that Barcelona is the perfect example of why Arteta should be sacked. What do you think about that? I know you're somebody who follows Barcelona. You've seen how they started the season. These guys have been flying in the league, 17 goals, 4 conceded, 15 points, 5 wins for 5. And most likely people are saying they're going to probably go on to win the league this year. As for the Champions League, we don't know how they're going to do, but their performances so far, is this an example of maybe sacking the manager is a good thing?
No.
Or just losing their mind?
No. Because, I mean, Barcelona winning the league is standard procedure in Spain. It's very rare that they don't win the league, especially in the last 2 decades. When you look at, in the last 2 decades, they've probably lost the league 4 times or 5 times in the last 20 years. So winning the league is bread and butter for them. They have monopolized La Liga. That's not the challenge for them. The challenge for Barcelona is winning that Copa del Rey, is winning that Champions League. That's the reality of it. Xavi won the league. The league was never the problem of winning that or getting good form or getting good points. The real challenge for Hansi Flick is what he can do in the Champions League. What can he go and do in the Copa del Rey? Can he proceed and win that? Because that's what Barcelona have known to do, is dominate the
Champions League.
What's that, sorry?
Do you think Barcelona can win the Champions League? Because
No. I'm saying that's the real challenge of I mean, look, they can. If that's the question that you're asking, they can win it. I do think they're in and amongst the shouts for winning it. But will they win it? Not in my opinion. I think Real Madrid are a lot stronger in that competition. I think Man City are a lot stronger. And I actually think we can beat them. So as much as I'd say yes, I think they're not favourites though. I'd say they're like amongst the top 5, 6, in my opinion.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Hopefully we'll catch you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next stream. You already know what it is, and Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow after the game. So you're gonna probably be on the terrace, but if you want to jump on, you can jump on. Do a
Sweet.
quick little match reaction, maybe like 15 to 20 minutes. And yeah, we're out of here, people. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.